Well, here we are, Thoughts from the Office, Rednecks Pride Outdoors. Do a short video on my advanced dog-proof system. And about the only place you can get it now is at the South Jersey Trapping and Snaring School. Although I have done a few training seminars, probably 7-8 years ago I did a few. And I did one or two at the I think it was PA convention. I did one, or it might have been the Virginia convention that I did one. I'm not for certain. You get old, you forget about when, where, how, and that type of stuff. But you know, a lot of folks here lately have been asking me about the advanced system, and they're asking me not in curiosity on how it works, but most of them saying, you know, why do I even need, what is it, you know, why do you need to do that? Why do you need to take an advanced system for a dog proof? Put some stinking bait in it, throw it, stick it in the ground, and be gone with it. And that is the reality. Yeah, That's why it's got the spike on the bottom of the newer dog proofs. But you know, when the first dog proofs really started coming out, they wasn't stick it in the ground and go. Matter of fact, I've been reading up on some of the history, and I would love to talk to some of those first generation dog proofers. One that I saw was I believe it was a 1.5 coil down in a box that he buried. We have those other dog proofs that are, I don't have it with me, but they was actually made to be stuck down in the ground. They're flat, flush, and the mechanism is below the ground. So the advanced systems that I'm talking about, showing, really aren't that advanced. They're realistically working off of old concepts. I changed things up a little bit. I made things different with a newer, modern dog proof, but the advanced system is not based on most of the advanced system. Some of it. Digging a dog proof, and that's probably what I'm best known for, is coming up with the digging the dog proof in. And again, everybody gets a little butthole-ish. They say, why do you need to do that? Well, I'll tell you why. Because you catch more coon, and you catch gray fox, and you'll catch more red fox. That's why. Now, I didn't set out to do that. I found all this stuff out by accident. And the reason I came up with the pocket set, the mound set, and the dug-in set was not originally to catch more critters. The original is, I'm in New Jersey, and you don't put a trap out anywhere without somebody going to find it. You know, cage traps are hard enough to disappear on, but they're kind of big and bulky, so the guys tend to leave them alone, but not all the time. But there is no such thing as private property that people stay off. When you see the keep off sign, the people who just walking their dogs or just out looking, joy looking and nature walking, that sign means nothing to them. They go on private property all the time. And what I was doing, because I trapped on public ground, and I trapped on ground that developments was around and people was constantly on, I wanted to figure out how I could hide the dog proof so people didn't see them and steal them. And wish I could say all trappers are honest, but the truth of the matter is, not all trappers are honest. And, you know, if you lose a dozen or two, you get tired of spending that type of money for people to steal your traps. So my original system was not to catch more critters. My original system was to hide the set from people until it made a catch. What I found out, and by the way, I use dog proofs in my wildlife control business. So if I had a raccoon that was trap shy or trap smart and I couldn't catch it, I tell the customer I'm going to use a dog proof, and I can put it in the backyard instead of somebody tripping over top of it or you know, falling into it or something like that. I could dig that thing in below the surface of the ground. Nobody saw it, nobody knew it, and everybody was happy. Everybody was happy. And somebody got in an accident. So I original, the mound set, the dug in set, and the pocket set was to hide it from other trappers. I have 13 variations of the dog proof trap to use. And what I found, because of those 3 sets that I was trying to avoid people, what I found was I caught more critters in the ones that I hid from people. So then I started to think about that, and I started to do a little bit of checking things out. And I would take, for example, a dug-in set, and then I would put the stupid set. A stupid set? What's a stupid set? It's what everybody does. You take the stupid trap, you put bait in it, and you stick it in the stupid ground. Okay? And what I found was this, that on the stupid set, yes, you caught the 80%. You started to catch the 80% a little bit faster sometimes. But when it was all said and done, the dug-in set, the mound set, and the pocket sets outproduced the stupid set for me. And it not only outproduced, but it produced bigger and better raccoons. And after I started putting videos on it, on my DPs and stuff like that, I started to notice that I would have a good bait that would catch 2 or 3 raccoons, but then 2 or 3, 4 raccoons would walk right up to it, stick their nose into it, and just walk on off. Well, it's the bait, it's a bait, it's a bait. No, it wasn't the bait, because they would walk over to a dug-in set with the exact same bait and get caught. Now why? Animals aren't dumb. There's a reason why you guys are at a bait station or feeder or something like that, and there's 30 raccoons. You set up five DP traps. You come back the next day, there's 1 or 2 caught. You come back the day after that, you got 1 caught. And then you come back the day after that, and none are caught, and there's still raccoons everywhere, and guys are saying to me, why is that happening? Why is that happening? Well, I know why that's happening. Didn't know it at first. I had to really spend a lot of time checking things out and doing what I do best, which means waste time, but learning the critter. There's a reason. And I give that in the school. I ain't going to give that here. That's not free. I charge for that, baby. Yes, the stupid set stuck in the ground will catch your 80%. And let's face it, when I can catch the 80% pretty fast without seeing what I'm missing, or knowing what I'm missing, and thinking I'm catching them all, the 80% makes me feel pretty doggone good. But as soon as I start to see what I've been missing, and then I start to figure out why it's been missing, now that pride disappears pretty doggone fast. That pride of me being Mr. Hotshot drops down to, yeah, I caught a raccoon in the dog proof every time I came, but I missed 3 or 4 before it got caught. And people, it ain't debating lure. You know, everybody says the raccoons are easy to catch, and they are. And everybody says that you can put anything out there you want, and the raccoon's going to eat it, and they will a lot of times. There are baits better than others, absolutely. But for the most part, raccoons are opportunists. Okay. But yet, when the raccoons stop hitting the stupid DP set, the first thing everybody says is what? Change the bait! Change the bait! They're onto your bait! Horse feathers. Horse feathers. They're onto the set. They're onto something that doesn't make them feel right. Presentation, trap position is the key. Every doggone foot trapper knows that. Every doggone foot trapper knows that. If you know how to catch critters with a foot trap, you know the set presentation is important. Well, I'm going to have a guy argue with me. No, it's not. Well, then why do you blend in your stupid pattern when you're trying to catch a stinking coyote? Yeah, I got aggravated just then because I sometimes you just hear asinine things from people because they just want to prove a point without just saying, you know what? Something could be right here. You could be onto something. So that's the reason why. Yes, I have an advanced system, and that's been for 9-10 years I've had this thing. There's 13 different variations. The mound set, the pocket set, and the dug-in set are the most popular. And you know what? 7-8 years ago, nobody knew about the dirt dug-in. Some guys did, but most people didn't know about the dug-in DP trap. Most people didn't know what a mound set was. Most people didn't know what the log set was. Most people didn't know what a pocket set was. Now you go on YouTube and you go on all these stations and all that, and all you hear is all these different variations of the dog proofs that they came up with, and they might have. But I'm telling you right now, I did not come up with a dug-in set. I changed it, but I did not come up with a dug-in set. But I was smart enough to say, you know what, if them the beginning guys did that, why did they change? And the simple reason is this: simplicity. Because we as trappers tend to be lazy. And that's going to strike a nerve with some of them, so I'm sorry, I apologize, not really. I'm lazy myself. I got a bunch of raccoons in the back of this truck from gauge straps today, and yesterday was the same way, and the day before it was the same way. I got a bunch of raccoons I catch every day. And the reason I had them caught was I wasn't lazy. I did what I needed to do, how I knew I needed to do it based on the situation that I was in. But there are times I'm lazy. And I take the dog proof trap and I stick it in the ground. I catch a little 10-pound, 12-pound raccoon. And if I have a video camera on, I saw the 15 to 18 pounder walk right past it. Stick his nose into it, reach in. By the way, I'm going to tell you something else, folks. A little something, but I know a lot of you don't believe. A raccoon doesn't always pull up on that trigger. You've got to force them to pull that trigger. And you think about it. I want you to think about that for a second. There's a lot of guys say, oh, they're just going to reach in and they're going to grab on anything. You take a stinking stick and stick it in a caulk tube with the bait underneath it and see how many times the bait is gone from the raccoon, but the stick is still in place. That's horizontal, stuck in there. Think about that for a minute. I ain't gonna tell you my thoughts on that. I'm just gonna tell you, think about that. If the raccoon's gonna grab everything and anything, then why is it you guys and I have dog-proof traps that's empty of bait, raccoon tracks all the way around it, and you ain't got no raccoon, and the trap's not even sprung? So yeah, this is a video on why advanced systems are needed. Now, if you don't want to put an advanced system in, if you don't want to take the extra minute to 2 minutes, 30 seconds to put in an advanced system, then don't do it. And if you're happy with the 80%, keep doing what you're doing. But me, I find that the 20% usually are going to be raccoons that are bigger and older, been around a block or two. And what does that equate? A bigger primer hide in the prime season. I mean, within reason. If you catch a raccoon now being, in the middle of October, no, your raccoon's going to be blue, all right? But as you get into November, December, your raccoons are going to be, priming up. You got a bigger, extra large, double large, triple large. What's that equate to money? Well, in today's fur market, it equates to $6, maybe. But it's a whole bunch better than $1.50 for that little medium or that little. I mean, if you're catching smalls, then turn them things loose. Unless I need glands this year, so I'm going to trap hard for raccoons. The early part of our season when it starts, I need glands. I'd be honest with you, if guys was coming to me with quarts of raccoon glands, I'd be buying them rather than trapping them. But got to do what you got to do. I need glands. Right? So I'm going to go catch a lot of raccoons and gland them out and skin them out. And I got a little something for the meat too. So this is a little bit long. Most of you would not sit down and listen through this whole thing, but it's just an introduction to advanced dog-proof traps. Like I said, there was a couple people across the nation that was talking about dug-in sets when I started going public with my system. There was a couple. Nobody did the mound set, and nobody did the pocket sets that I knew of them. So there's other brilliant people like myself. Good trappers think alike. Now you go on there and it's either scoffed at or guys keep their mouth shut because it works. Well, tradition. I'm going to leave it here. And I'll talk to you all later. Thoughts from the office, Rednecks Pride Outdoors. I'll see you later.